First question I have for you is, can you kind of delve into the conference sessions at FABTECH and even get into simple nuts and bolts things such as where are they located there and maybe how long they last?
Yeah, sure. So again, thanks for having us on today. I think it's great that the FABTECH conference is being highlighted on the Fabricator Live.
Thank you.
We are, a big part of the show, but sometimes, as you just mentioned, people don't know all of the things that we're doing with the conference sessions. And the conference content is really pulled together in a coordination with the five associations that help put together the show. And that is the FMA, SME, PMA, CCAI, and AWS. So that really gives all of the attendees of FABTECH a really good, diverse amount of content that they have access to. This year we have 128 sessions that we've already programmed and 15 workshops. On average, session time is about 90 minutes. So it gives people the ability to, spend some time on the show floor, spend some time up at a conference session, break away, get back down to the show floor, and then come back up. And we include tracks such as 3D additive, automation and robotics, cutting, finishing, stamping, lean, smart manufacturing, workforce development, and much, much more. And we also have different workshops, as I mentioned, which is kind of a package of sessions that you can go to. And those include things like Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing and things like that. Another thing I wanted to mention about the content is for the first time ever, this year we're going to actually be unveiling an on-demand offering.
Okay.
So we haven't announced that yet. We have put together 25 sessions in all that will be offered both live and on demand.
Okay.
We think this really helps our mission where we're trying to educate the industry, trying to help all of those fabricators out there that talk about their challenges is workforce development, finding people that want to work in the industry, and then even existing employees furthering their education on different things that they're trying to learn in the industry. And sometimes companies bring multiple people to the show. Sometimes there's some people that have never been able to come to FABTECH, and we're really thinking that offering this on-demand content will help kind of lengthen and strengthen the FABTECH brand to other people around the country, around the world, to gain access to information that's usually only offered at FABTECH. So we're really excited to offer that. Again, we haven't unveiled all of the details on that, but make sure you check in at fabtechexpo.com and stay tuned for more information.
And that's something that, at least from the FMA side of things, we've really had a chance to develop with the whole pandemic and offering more virtual offerings. So
yeah, absolutely. I think we've learned a lot this year as a company that's an event-based company. Obviously, we've had some challenges, and I think we've really rose to the challenge on that thing. We have great content for the industry, and we've been able to use technology to deliver that content to the audience, and we've had great results. I mean, we typically host 40 to 50 events outside of this conference a year. I know all of our partners at FABTECH also host many events throughout the year, and the technology that is now people are used to using is something that I think will stay. It is something that we're going to continue to offer. We've already got some great numbers for registration. We continue to see that climb throughout the next month or so before the show. Yeah, so our pricing is structured is fairly straightforward. A single session is $150 for members of any of the associations I previously mentioned, and $170 for non-members. For example, if you go to 3 sessions, it jumps up to $200 and $220 respectively. But you can see that the more sessions you do, the cheaper they are per session.
Right.
But really, the best value is to go with the full conference package, and that's $375 or $395 respectively if you're a member or non-member. So for $395 top amount, you have access to the full content, be able to pick and choose all the tracks that you want to go to.
Right.
I think another nice thing that the conference team has done is we only organized content by tracks, but we've also organized it by basic, intermediate, and experienced. So we've kind of highlighted on the conference at a glance, which you mentioned earlier, the type of content you should expect to receive when you attend one of these events. So you, based on how knowledgeable you are on the topic, you can pick the right session for yourself.
Right. In that sense, it's really tailored to kind of a specific audience. And we're going to talk about maybe some things that might be of interest to users. But one of the examples I wrote down was press brakes for engineers, which it's not so much that the engineers are going to be out there operating the press brake, but in terms of speccing out bend allowances, things like that. it would behoove them sometimes to know what the shop floor is going through,
Yeah.
the realities out there.
Yeah,
So
I think we've all heard from fabricators that engineers don't necessarily understand how the machines work.
Right,
And all
right.
the nuances of that equipment and things like that, but they're designing the product.
Yeah.
So they really having workshops like that to help people, an engineer, again, not get a full-blown certification course, but sit in on a 90-minute session to understand the nuances of press braking and bending and tolerances and things like that, I think is really helpful. And we hear that a lot from our members and people that attend the conference year in and year out, that those are the type of things that people can come to the show and learn that they're maybe not going to take the time to learn while they're down on the shop
Right.
floor. That's a great reason to come to the show and attend a conference.
what do you see as being kind of areas of most interest when it comes to the conference for these attendees?
Well, I know like currently we have some registration numbers, so I can share that with you guys. We have only over 300 people registered for the conference sessions already. Mind you, we have 30 days before the show starts, and typically we see the most registration the last week of the show. So to have this number is great. It's actually ahead of the 2019 registration
Okay.
number, so that's a great indicator in terms of how excited people are to
Right.
come to the show and be down at McCormick Place and learn live once again. We have the leading sessions so far focus on workforce development.
Yeah.
A lot of leadership topics, automation and robotics, and lean. So out of those numbers at 300 I mentioned, those are kind of the topics people are most signed
Right.
up for at this point. And that I assume that will continue as we get closer to the show.
So in the September issue of the Fabricator, we just wrapped up a story. We do this survey every other year, what keeps you up at night. And going into it, I figured with the metal pricing situation, that might be the top concern for metal fabricators. And lo and behold, no. Obviously came in very strong, but it only garnered perhaps, I don't know, 20%, I forget the numbers, of those fabricators that were asked to rank their number one concerns. Number one still to this day is looking for skilled workers. So it makes sense that workforce development area would be of great interest. So I think there's these gems in this conference offerings that people have to be on the lookout for and just kind of ask and find. Other things you mentioned, marketing. I mean, coming from industry, that metal fabricators aren't exactly the most sophisticated, and usually that has to do with time more
Right.
than anything.
Well, and it's changed so much over the last 5 years, 10
Right.
years with social media, and it's actually probably easier to get it going.
Right.
But a lot of people trip up and don't do it the right way. They just, we'll throw a website up, we'll throw social media up there. But we have a conference breakout session to come and learn how to market in our industry. How do you set up these simple social media things that really are valuable instruments to your marketing messages and how you deliver who you want to be and position yourself in the industry. Everybody markets, everybody needs to market.
Yeah.
And there's a great opportunity now more than ever. If you think about how the way things used to be,
Right.
hiring an ad agency, developing materials, having film for your print ads to go on. I mean, not everything's digital.
Yeah.
And, I think it's really exciting to see fabricators and people in our industry learn a little bit more and start developing those programs on their own. And
Yeah.
I think, our mission is to educate and to train. And there is no other place in the world that more fabricators come together than FABTECH. And it's a great opportunity for people to come to the show, learn not only about what's going on in the industry, see the show floor, but take the time to see the conference sessions.
Right.
There's a lot to offer there for, you're already traveling to the show to come and catch some conference sessions and learn a little more in depth, or maybe you have some people on your team that could stop upstairs that are more on the floor staff or upper management, depending on who's coming. It's a great way to divide up the time, divide up the day, and 128 sessions. There's going to be something that you're going to find interesting and valuable for your time.